Did you record that?
What'd you ask?
Did you record that one?
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome, everybody.
Fast. You just heard you the scat man.
Sorry, I got it.
Okay, what's up, everybody? My name is Mike.
I'm Nick.
We are doing rapid reviews. That's why Nick was doing fast timey talk.
But it
You're doing
it ended up being
auctioneering.
scatty, old-timey scatting.
Old timey scat talk.
Give it a bit more.
Board games to Tekhenu. This is Rapid Reviews. We do this every single month. This is a video where we review everything we played in the month quickly. Just fast.
We
as
try
can
to do
be.
it quickly at least.
Try. And we have a bunch of reviews for you this month. So let's just get
was
right
it
into
37
it.
games this
37
month?
games and 50
Crazy.
plays total. So not a bad month.
Indeed.
So let's get right started with it. We got back to the crew after about a month off.
Yeah, we took a month off.
I don't think we played it last month, but we did play it
missed it.
this month.
We did not play last month, I know, because I was surprised when we were doing it. I was like, oh, wow, the crew's
No
on
crew.
here.
But the
It's
crew,
so good.
the Spiel winner, isn't it?
It is
The
the
Kenner
Kenner.
Spiel
Yes, the Kenner. Yeah, they
winner,
won.
congrats to the crew, is a trick-taking game cooperatively where you are basically doing different missions that will give you different requirements. You have to do this to win. You have to do this to win. You have to get this many tricks, but only this person can get them. And there's all sorts of things like that. And it's super fun. And we took that month off.
Yeah.
And then we came back to it, and I re-remembered how great it is.
Yes.
It really is fantastic. It's just so fun. It's challenging, but I think we played a really high level. We're
Yes.
playing at 5 players, which is very tough. And we were just
We were with
vibing.
it. Yeah, we did very good. It's co-op trick-taking game, if you don't know.
Yep.
And yeah, we were vibing pretty good. We did very well.
Some
It
high-level
was-
play.
It was fun. Yeah, it was really good.
Yep, so that's the crew. You know from before. We love it. I still love it. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, we've played it
So
many
good.
times this
If
year.
you love trick-taking, you will love it. What else we got?
You played Terraforming Mars.
I've been playing a lot of
You
Terraforming
haven't.
Mars
I actually
digital.
haven't been. Yeah.
Terraforming Mars, the app has reinvigorated my love for Terraforming Mars.
Yeah, because I feel like when we first started playing it, we both loved it equally, and then you started liking it much more than I did, and then it kind of switched where all of a sudden I liked it more than you did, and now I feel like we're kind of back to even again.
Part of the problem is with the physical copy of the game we have is it's bloated at this point.
It's too many
There's a
expansions.
lot of stuff.
I
and
was thinking the other day, I was like, we should just get rid of colonies and stuff.
we might want to, but that's something I might be interested to do in the app if
Yeah.
they had all those, because it tracks stuff for you.
Yes.
Like with the colonies thing, I forget to increase the marker
Colonies is
for all the
unnecessary.
colonies and
It's the
stuff.
most
I'm like,
unnecessary expansion.
so it's bloated, and the app goes back to the base game.
Yeah.
And I have found, I'm not really missing any of that
Yeah,
stuff that
no.
much. It is so fun, but I remembered how fun that game is.
Yeah.
Terraforming Mars is fantastic, and this has
so
kind of
good. It really is.
revamped
Yeah.
the love, man, and for a modern era.
I think the last few times I've played it, I've been very underwhelmed by the colonies expansion. I don't particularly like it, honestly. And like Venus Next is fine because it's like, it just adds cards.
They all add cards, which is a thing I like.
Yeah, but the colonies is more involved, and I've just been like, I don't really like it that much, and I kind of don't want to play with it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately, Terraforming Mars, the app is great though.
The app is fantastic, looks good, plays well, really loving it. So yeah, I've been on it because
Yeah,
it's
no,
easy to play
you've been playing it.
digitally.
I got to get back
I
on
want
the
those
app.
expansions in the app.
Yeah. I would take Venus Next for
Because it
sure.
just makes your life easy for you.
Yeah. We played a couple of games of Caverna the Cave Farmers. We finally got it. We talk about it all the time. We're like, oh man, this is a game where we really like, but
Someday
we don't
we'll
have.
get it.
Well, we finally got it. And so we got it. There's a 3D printing episode we did for it, which will pop up in a
it
card
out.
above Mike over here, where we actually 3D printed little dwarves that hold your little weapon markers.
Yeah, so they replace the discs,
Which is
and
super
it
cool.
still creates a nice thing to hold your
Yeah.
weapon level, and it looks like thematic and cool.
Yeah, and
that's
so
a
we
little
played
shield.
a couple games. We played this with Karen, although we played it way too late at night. None of us were ready for that game.
It's not a light game.
But then we played on stream, and yeah, Caverna is so good, man. It's so much fun. I definitely, at this point, still like Feast for Odin more.
Same.
But I really like Caverna. Caverna is great. And they're not similar. They don't feel similar at all. They're very, very different games.
No, it's
but
just same designer and they're
Yeah.
big worker placement games.
Caverna is a great, if you like big worker placement games, give it a shot. It's real fun.
Yeah, Caverna is awesome. We also played a couple of games of Wits and Wagers with the chat, which we haven't done in some time.
We had not, yeah.
And that's another one that's super fun. It's a trivia game that you don't have to necessarily be great at trivia.
Yeah.
to do well at.
Yeah.
And we've worked it out during our live streams with a way that people can bet this kind of fake currency that we have called Litcoin.
Litcoin.
And you can wager on answers. So what we'll do is we'll have trivia sometimes provided from the audience, sometimes from the game Wits and Wagers itself. We'll have a question. We'll have people from the chat give guesses. We then order those guesses, and people can wager on, I think it's this one or this one.
Yeah.
And it's all for fun. Nothing's for real. And it's super fun. Wits and Wagers is just... I love trivia. I freaking love trivia. And Wits and Wagers is a really fun way to go about it.
It totally is. Yeah, and we actually found, we played it on during Gen Con as well, and we found a new way to kind of do it there, which was very cool.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's super fun. We've been having people in the chat come up with questions themselves, which has been really, really cool.
Yeah,
Wits and Wagers, it's a great party. It just is. It's just 100%
Everyone's just
great.
guessing on random numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got to play a new Haba roll right called Finden.
Finden. It's a finding
Which was
game.
hard. It was very difficult.
Yeah, it's a game where you will roll these dice that will give you a sequence of
Symbols.
color and symbols, and then you have to find and draw kind of those groups of symbols in certain kind of predestined shapes and things. So there's only certain shapes you can do, and you have to find it 5 times. You have to find that grouping 5 times. So it's kind of like a word search, a symbol search.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. It's just kind of a racing
really
game,
fun.
ultimately. Try to find your thing first. There's no...
And certain shapes are harder, so like if you're trying to find like a...
They're worth more points, though.
Yeah, if you're trying to find like, it's like a, you need 5, each one's 5 symbols, hence 5 refined. And you have one where it's like a box, 1, 2, 3, 4, with like a little one on top.
That's
like
easy.
That one's only worth 1 point because it's easy to do. But if you're trying to find like a cross where there's one in the middle and then boom, 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 that one's really hard to find.
Yeah, or all in a straight line.
Is really hard to find. So those are worth 4 points. So you're looking for the more expensive ones, but like it's also a race because the person who finds 5 first gets to turn on his timer, then everyone else only has like 30 seconds to
try to
finish.
get as many as they can.
And so it's really fun. It's really hard. Like
Yeah.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, it's gonna be easy, and it is
so hard.
Trying to find the symbols is very difficult. It was really fun.
Yeah, and it's cool. And they have like a solo mode / another way you can play that seems really intriguing, where you're kind of limited by, you can't get the same shape over and over again and stuff, so it kind of adds more of a puzzliness to the puzzliness. Fiber Finding's super cool though. It's really fun, and coming out soon, I believe, from Haba, if not just there at Gen Con. So coming out soon, but yeah, it's really fun, kind of a symbol search game.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, you played
I got on my little solo adventure. I visited a game store and had had them set aside Underwater Cities, which I've been wanting to play ever since I played it the one time that I played it.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to play it for a long time since then, and I was like, they have it there. I was like, you know what? We always try to support this store when we can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Underwater Cities. And I was on my own, so I decided to might as well learn what the solo's like and see how it solos. It solos well. The solo game plays out as if you're playing pretty much a 2-player game. There's action spaces are covered each turn, certain ones, and they kind of shift around to simulate like another player. And then from there, you're just building up your thing, but you have a couple rules. You have to get 7 connected cities, and you have to score 100 points to qualify as a win. And I got 7 cities, but I got 93 points. But it's a super cool game where you're building an underwater kind of network of towns and stuff, because they say like, getting to Mars is too hard, but we're overpopulated, so we're going to build in the ocean. And you have this really cool board where you are selecting actions. And you do 3 actions per turn, and kind of along one edge of the edge of the board, the action spaces themselves are not that cool. But you have these cards you're playing, and if you happen to play the same color card, you get to do what's on the card. You always play a card no matter what, but if it doesn't match, you don't get to do it. So the green cards don't have cool actions, but they have really powerful cards. There's a red section that has kind of like medium power actions, medium power cards, and then the orange section, which has really good action spaces, but the cards are kind of weak. So it's this cool like balance of like, where do I go, what do I do, how do I play these cards? And there's even times where it's like, I'm going to go to this action, I'm going to play this other card because I have a bunch of green. I don't need green. I'm just going to discard that card. So it creates these interesting choices. And it's tight resourcely. So Underwater Cities, I really enjoyed my second play. I really want to play with you again. I liked it. So excited to try that out.
I played Archmage. Tried it again.
Mistake.
Didn't
JK.
go. I liked it. I played this. I played the co-op version with our roommate David, and he wasn't a huge fan. I did a metagame minute about it, which will pop over here.
I am surprised by that.
Me too. I was very, very surprised that he didn't like it, which is totally fine. Like again, if people don't like games, it's totally fine. But this is one of those things where like I feel like I'm the only person who actually likes this game. And so, like, but I like the co-op mode and the solo mode are they're very, very similar.
Very similar.
So I was like, you know what? Like,
well.
I'm going to keep it at my place, and I'm just going to solo it. This is going to be a game that I just play solo because I seem to be the only person who really likes it. I think one of our other friends might have liked it as well, but
we can't play it again. My problem with that game is that
like
you're doing spells, but it never feels like you're slinging spells.
No, not at all.
I'm like, well, I want a magical. I want to sling magic around.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't bother. I like it a lot though. But it's a game where you have different kinds of spells, and you are essentially learning different types of magic. And as you move up these kind of like this, it's like this big Venn diagram of all these different kinds of magic that kind of overlap and stuff. And you can learn like blood magic, nature magic, will, matter, time, and death. But then you can then learn magic that is a mix of two of the magic. So it'll be like blood and nature.
Magic.
And it's like hybrid magic. Then you can learn like master magic, which is like super powerful spells. And it's I think it's fascinating. And then it's got this big like area control aspect that I still like as well. And I'm the only one who likes it, and that's okay. So I'm gonna play it solo.
Yeah, without getting too much into it, it's a totally fine game, and I enjoy it, but I just don't ever feel excited.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like it. I will happily play it, but I'm just like, always I'm like, I want to do more.
So yeah, I tried out that game with one more person. I'm just resigned to play it alone, and I'm okay with that because that's how it goes.
Man, every game deserves a solo chance.
That's right. That's right.
We played some Chai.
Yeah, I always played some Chai.
We played some Chai. It's great, light, fun, beautiful production.
Was it both a brother and a sister? This?
Huh?
Was it both?
Yeah, we played with all the Murphs.
All the Murph siblings together, yeah.
All the Murphs on Tabletopia. There's a version of Chai out there. So we played that, and it was super fun, super light. I really enjoyed it, like 3 and 4 players, or even 5 for that matter, like because it's so quick and stuff. It's just fun and easy. Like it just goes down easy, and it looks really pretty.
Yeah, it's great.
That's all I gotta say about
Chai.
Chai. It's great. It's solid. I played a couple more times of Viscounts West Kingdom. Nick.
Mike, you like this game a lot.
It's the best of the West, man.
Is it
Maybe.
really?
I don't know. I'm going to make a video about that someday once we get Viscounts the West Kingdom. It's really good. Wow. It is either first or second. I think firmly at this point, Architects of the West Kingdom is in third. And that doesn't mean it's bad.
Not for me.
The floor is quite high on those games. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is so freaking good.
I'm so curious
it's
of why.
So good. I don't even know. Like,
I just want to play it physically. I don't want to play it online.
That's totally fair, and we can absolutely wait for it, and I'll be ready. But it's just like weirdly simple in terms of the things you can do. So it just allows you to like trip out on like what you should do. Yeah. There's only 4 types of actions you do, you probably want to be really good and focus in a couple of those areas versus a little bit in everything. But then the way the cards work, it's just. It's really cool. I will do a full kind of review on that in the entire West Kingdom trilogy. There'll be a whole in time, but once we get our hands on it. But it's so good. It is. Check it out. It's on Tabletopia right now. It's so good. Viscounts is fantastic.
Yeah, I just did. You can solo that cards on cards up here.
Yeah, cards on cards. A lot for old Mike to remember. This is 13, 50. Okay, we're good.
For Paladins West Kingdom, I was like, oh man, I love Paladins West Kingdom. I still like Architects better personally, but I do love Paladins West Kingdom. I do want to try Viscounts West Kingdom. Very, very bad. We played Chimera Station, which is such a good game.
It is, man. It's
I'm sorry, everyone. All our reviews are positive.
No negative reviews. There's a few coming.
Be angry more. And so I'm angry about how much I love Chimera Station.
It's so solid.
It's so good. So this is a worker placement game, a worker builder game where it's a worker placement. You're building out this space station, a bunch of different worker placement spots. Cool. But you have these workers that you can pop they're pop in half, and then you can put different components in between them. So
different body parts and stuff. Like,
and they can have like claw arms, or like big tentacle arms, or like leaf arms, or like big brains. And in the different kind of components you put on them specializes your worker. So claws can like push people off of spots and take their spots. And now they've already taken that spot, so it's not really that mean. And actually, in a way, it kind of helps them.
You get food or money. I mean, it's not bad to get moved.
So and then tentacles means you get more resources because you're like
just taking one for the back
pocket. A brain means you're very brainy, so you get extra points, and green makes it easier to feed your people. It's very, very cool, and so you can specialize them in different ways, and each little alien can have 2 components to it. Yeah. So it can become like super specialized, and it's just so much fun. It's a game that I do think needs an expansion. And at this point, I don't know if it's ever going to get one because it's been out for a while. But even with just the base game, I really, really love Chimera Station. It's a game that doesn't get to the table that often, but every time it does, I'm reminded about how much I freaking love that game.
It's just really fun, and you get a lot done. It's only 5 rounds. It goes quick.
Yes, it does.
But it ramps up really well. It's a satisfying game. It's really
Yeah.
really fun and just funky. Like,
Yeah.
It's a funky theme
Maximum
and stuff,
funkin'
and
too,
like,
yeah.
but I love it.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. Conversation. Targi, Mikey.
I played some Targi on Board Game Arena. They have a pretty good
Yeah.
implementation. It makes it really quick. I taught it to a buddy, and we played, and it's just a great two-player
good.
worker placement game that's really...
Matthew and Paul special at this
Yeah, but it's really sticky with getting in each other's way. It's very in your face. I really want to get the expansion for it
Yes.
because I watched Z
Really
Garcia's review, and it changes a lot of stuff. It's
Really?
basically a different version of the game,
Wow,
but I'm
okay,
very
cool.
excited to try that. And Targi, it's just like... It's
good.
Solid. I mean, it's...
Two-player worker placement in a weird way. It's super good.
Yeah,
It's super
fairly
weird.
simple, you know, but it's like it's great. I just love the whole kind of trying to get your tribe figures to the right
cross-sections,
spots
yeah.
because you're putting these workers on the border, and that will create intersections for your tribe markers that go in the middle. And there's just a lot of fun stuff to think about. But it's ultimately like get some goods, spend those goods to get this card, get those cards, so get
Classic
some
hero.
points, and then you're done. Like that's it. You know, it's pretty quick. So Targi's, I really enjoy it. Great two-player game.
Yeah. Jump cut, and we're back. So during Gen Con, we were asked by Restoration Games to play Conspiracy.
Begged,
yeah. So we had a
Pleaded.
sponsor stream by Restoration Games to play Conspiracy, which is a game that I really, really love playing, but you really want to play it with three, in my opinion. At least three or four.
You want more people manipulating the board.
So we don't play it that much because we usually have two players. And so we did this stream, we did it a couple days ago with Karen, Mike's fiance, and you guys had played like the night before. So you guys had been into it and had it on your mind. And then I crushed.
Yeah, it's like little did that help, but
yeah. So this is a game that, honest to God, and we're not being paid to say this, even though we are sponsored by Restoration Games.
just verifying the check is.
Yeah, make sure it's cleared.
Coming.
But nonetheless, it's a game that really doesn't feel like any other game that I've ever played.
Yeah, it's cool. It's this game where you're like, using a network of spies.
Yeah,
you're
like
not playing as
like
these
the
characters.
CIA. You're all like different CIA.
You're shadow
corporations.
organizations, and you're paying off different spies, and you're trying to manipulate this briefcase. You're trying to get a briefcase back to your headquarters.
Yeah.
And so it's cool because there's all these spies on the board. They all have like little abilities and powers, but you're not playing as one of them.
No.
You are controlling all of them. You're the puppet master pulling the strings. And it's just this cool thing where you can do basically a couple actions. You can pay off an agent. You can give them as much money as you have. You have 30 gold sovereigns, and you kind of spread those out how you will. And that's going to be useful because if I decide to move the blue agent, the magician, you could challenge me and say like, no. Because basically Nick is saying like, I've got this person deeper in my pocket than you have in yours. And so he said like, well, I paid this person off 3. And if I want to not lose my action, I need to increase the bid, so it were. Basically say, well, I paid this person off 4. I paid him off 5. And the thing is, you can't lie.
You can't lie. You can't say, I paid him 10 when you haven't.
Yeah, if Nick has paid this person off 8 and I've only paid off 6, then I've got to concede because Nick basically called the agent and said, do not go to Budapest.
Don't do that.
You ain't
You know
going
I already
there.
paid you that.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's this cool thing if you can challenge people, but you're trying to move the briefcase and the people have power. So the magician can move and then push the briefcase away. So you might be able to scoot it, you know, so it's this sort of, the briefcase is changing hands in the
cat and
street
mouse
situation.
kind of, yeah.
It's just, it's a very different feeling game.
It
It's
totally
very cool.
feels different. And it's very, very fun. It's pretty relatively quick. There's also kind of like a timer element to it as well, which is super cool. It's very, very fun. I also love the look of it. It's got this kind of like cool red and white and black look that's very kind of like monochromatic in a way. It's not very, it's very, very
cool looking.
I really like it a lot. And it's a game that's kind of gone under the radar, unfortunately, but it's really, really fun. And we got to play it again with Karen, and she really likes it as well, which is always good. And so, Conspiracy, it's great. We love it.
Check it out.
Justin, you owe us $500.
Okay. Next we have Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Indeed. I like
Crystal
this game.
Palace is a great
I like
game. It's a worker placement game where you're sort of playing 5 rounds that are leading into the First World's Fair. And so in this, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get some patents and then build prototypes of like this automatic piano player. You know, it's the old-timey stuff.
Yeah.
So you're like, this thing, you know, or whatever.
It's like late 1800s, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the early days of industrialization and stuff.
Electricity and all
and
that
so,
kind of stuff,
you're coming up with all these inventions and stuff. And you're trying to go around to these different action boards. And you're trying to work your way up in the social scene and get famous friends and stuff on your employ that will give you perks. You're trying to get prototypes and build those prototypes. You're trying to sling stuff in the black market.
Trying to get buzz going.
Trying to get some buzz going.
Get
for your papers and stuff. Get some flyers up, and ultimately all these different ways to score points. And it's just a really cool kind of economic game because you have these dice that are your workers, but
Yeah.
you never roll those dice. You choose what value they
Yes.
are, and the higher the better, because that's kind of they're more influential. But for whatever pit value you set, you have to pay that worker that much money. And so it becomes very tight financially.
Yes.
You're like, well, I need to make sure I get to go to this place, and so I need to have a 5. And if I go to a 5, I get to do this bonus action, and then Nick maybe will only have 4, so then I will guarantee that I get this action before Nick does.
Yeah.
So there's all this pressure to have famous people and rich workers and things, but you only have so much money.
Yeah.
And you can take out loans and stuff, but it will hurt.
And
to
loans,
do.
even if you pay them back, still negatively affect you. You
Yeah,
can never
so-
ever get. And so it's like
just
it's
this
hard.
cool game, man.
And it's the first time we played, we were kind of like, huh, okay. And we played it again. I was kind of like, I don't know how much I like this. And then we played it like one more time, and I was like, oh man, I think I like this. Then we played it this last time, and I was like, oh no, I really like this
Yeah.
game. It took a while to like.
It's a little different.
It's just weird. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I really, really like it.
Yeah.
Every time I played, I liked it more, and so I'm just like, okay, cool. Now I'm pumped to continue exploring this game. It's really fun.
One thing I like about it is there's all these different boards, and they're all kind of personalized for player count. So it scales really well. Because if you're playing something at 2-player, there's a lot of things that are specifically for the 2-player count. The other
Yeah.
side might have 3 and 4-player, then 5 or whatever. So it scales nicely.
Yeah.
It really keeps the game tight because you want to kind of be fighting for certain spots because there might be 2 places to put dice, but there's only one actual action spot.
Yeah.
So you have to put the most valuable die there if you want to do
Yeah.
the action. So
Yeah.
it's a cool game. It's a really interesting game. I think it looks great. I really enjoy it. People are like,
Yeah.
it's so beige. I'm like, the world was beige back then.
know, there was no color.
Nothing was color, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and so
like
like,
the look
I
of it,
like the
too.
look.
I
It
totally
looks
agree.
like the time it's set, and
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
I totally agree. I think that too.
So anyway, Crystal Palace is quite good.
Yeah. Next thing we played was Endeavor Age of Sail.
Yes, we played this on stream. This was a
Yes.
game that was turned in. We have people who watch our stream can turn in points to make us play games. So this was requested.
Chimera Station was also
Chimera
one of
was
those,
another
yeah.
one. So Endeavor Age of Sail is this game that we'd never played before. And it was an interesting play.
It was.
I will say that in terms of mechanically and stuff, I really like the game.
I like my game mechanically.
I think it's
yeah.
really cool. It's got a problematic theme. But one thing I'll say, and I've talked to people about this afterwards, basically it's all about colonialism and stuff. It's about Europeans going out in the world, you know, and
Spreading-
conquer and claim the land for yourself. It doesn't matter if people already live there. And so it's very much set in that the age of sail, back
Yeah.
when people were going around and discovering new lands and saying, I think we'll stay here. And the people
Yeah.
said, wish you wouldn't. I live here.
I would love it if you didn't.
It's my beach. And they said, you're dead. And a big part of that came the slave trade. And this game, I will give it kudos, does not shy away from that.
No.
It doesn't have a game set in this era. It's like, look how much fun we're having. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, this was all slave labor.
Yeah.
Are you going to acknowledge that?
Yeah.
This game, no, it puts it front and center. There
Yeah.
is a slavery deck that gives you perks and stuff, just like all the other decks of cards in the game. The one thing I really enjoy about it is that like you can choose to engage with that part of the game or not.
Or not.
You
Yeah,
do
you
not
don't have
have
to.
to. And in fact, if you take this other deck, the Europe deck, you can abolish slavery.
Yeah.
And if anyone had participated in using those cards and stuff, they will lose all those cards and lose points at the end
Yeah,
of the game
because they
as a sort of like
participated in it, yeah.
punishment. And so I really appreciate that. I appreciate that it's not forced upon you. I appreciate that it's acknowledged
Yeah, I
because
appreciate it's not
it is a
ignored.
part of
Yeah,
history.
I think ignoring it's even worse.
And if you're going to play in that part of the world, it's really inappropriate not to talk about what was actually happening.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of came to the conclusion that like colonialism, and someone we talked about like why not set it in space, and then someone said like why not set it not as colonialism and conquering places. And I was like, damn, that's a good point. We probably
Yeah.
can get away from those types of like go and conquer these lands because every time you do that, it's like usually someone's already there.
Yeah, you're literally.
And they're just trying to get on, you
Yeah.
know. So.
Yeah, I like the
game
game
is really
mechanically.
cool.
The theme bugged me. It just
Theme
did.
is tough.
Like I understand that like if you're gonna do it, this is probably the way to do it, where you're not
think
shying
so.
away from it. Yada yada yada. But I'm like, just pick a different theme. I'm sorry. Like it's just I don't want to play a game where I can draw from a slavery deck. I don't. It really really upsets me. I don't
Yeah.
want to do it. It bothers me. And so like. I didn't really like it because of that reason. Mechanically, the game was great. I thought mechanically the game was really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What you're doing in the game is really awesome. I
if we're
really
gonna be
like
sailing
that.
around,
like
make
the
it
mechanics.
Make it fantastical.
Yeah.
You know, it's like make you're sailing
fighting
around to
krakens
islands, but
and
you're sailing
things.
around to like non-existent islands aren't real. Man, make it in a fantasy world. Like you're actually like I don't know, fish people. You know, or do something so that like you can have this kind of theme. but not have it be about colonialism. I'm sorry, I don't want to play a game about colonialism. I don't. I know some people are like, oh, it's history, da da da. It's like, but it's not something. It's a game. Like, I don't want to play a game.
There's a weird thing about like
where I'm
making a
conquering
profit
people.
off of
I don't want to.
suffering and stuff, right?
So I don't know, that's our personal opinion on
tricky.
it, and people disagree vehemently, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, I didn't want to. I don't have much interest in it.
It's a bit of a shame because the game itself is great.
Yeah.
It's really
It is a fun
quite
game.
good, and it's very highly rated as a result. But theme-wise, I was like, oh, let's do something else. Anyway, jump cut.
Mike played a boring game.
No, I played a great game, and I'm going to defend it. Tapestry. I love it. I think it's great. I think Tapestry is fantastic.
So boring.
No, it's not.
I like it less and less.
There's so many good things to think about when you're playing.
I find it so boring. I'm sorry.
No! It's so great! Tapestry is wonderful. I don't know why I like it. I just do. Every time I play Tapestry,
You do. You really like it a lot.
I'm just always like, I really like this. I'm having a great time. And I don't know. It's
That's
weird.
totally fine. That's
I'm
totally
in the minority there. I don't think
don't know
it's
if you
like
are in the
a
minority,
hated game by any means, but it was, I think, maybe not the humongous mega hit from Stonemaier Games that they thought it was going to be. And it does have some things with the civs and things that the original weren't that balanced and blah, blah, blah. So there are critiques to be made. But Tapestry is a game where you are going up these 4 tracks that are around the board, and there's an exploration track and a military track and a technology track and a science track, and they all kind of focus in different areas. And they all require different resources. So it's kind of a resource management game where to move up a track, you have to spend a resource of your choice. And then once you get to the kind of middle section of the military track, you have to spend one of the military resources and then a resource of your choice. And it gets more and more expensive as you go, but the perks become greater and greater. And you're trying to do different things. You're trying to get a bunch of tech cards out. You're trying to get explore the board and put little control markers out on the board and stuff. And you have these moments where you eventually will kind of run out of resources, run out of things to do, and then what you can do is you can kind of move into the next era of your civilization. So it's a Civ light game because it has sort of Civ.
It's Civ and theme.
Civ and theme,
Yeah.
which
Which
everyone's
is fine,
like, oh,
honestly.
so
I don't mind that,
I like
honestly.
it. I like the theme.
I don't think
it's
I'd want to
perfect.
play like we play a lot of Civ 6. I don't think I'd want to play a board game version of Civ 6.
No.
It sounds like too much. I like Civ themes though.
Yeah, I talk about Through the Ages digitally is the way I'd only play that because it's too big otherwise. So a Civ theme where
It's
you're sort
fine
of
with me.
like,
I'm fine with Civ
you're
themes,
playing these things, like I don't need it to be linear, like the technologies, you might have dynamite and then you might do a compass later or something like that. I don't care because
That's
it's
fine.
just
I don't
like
care.
you're painting the tapestry of your civilization, not necessarily through time and order. And I just really enjoy exploring the different tracks and thinking of things to do and trying to get better. I don't know. I think Tapestry is fantastic. I really like it. I'm excited for the expansion.
Oh yeah,
I just want to try something. It's just fun to explore.
I don't know. You totally. I don't hate the game. I would play it. It's
no,
just,
I know
it's
it's a
just not
joke,
my,
but it's like I don't.
It's not my favorite.
I don't know why. Every time I play, I'm like I just enjoy myself greatly.
Yeah, that's
all.
fine.
Tapestry, play it or don't. That's fine.
I soloed Ex Libris because Mike took a little solo vacation, and so I was soloing on Gen Con stream alone, and so I played solo Ex Libris, which is it's definitely my top 5 solo games, if not my number 2 or 1 at this point. I like it
right up there
that much. A solo Ex Libris also is the only way I want to play Ex Libris, but this is a game where you are running like a magical library. You have your like magic people for some reason, and then you're essentially categorizing and alphabetizing books, and you're trying to get certain genres, but not trying to get other genres. And the solo game, you're going against the public library, which I just find hilarious. And the public library makes up for what they lack in like organization and alphabetizing and all this different kind of stuff. They make up for it in sheer volume of books. They have so many books. And it's really, really hard because there's a lot of the games. There's like 5 or 6 different themes. There's like fantastical fictions and like reference texts and potions
history
and spells.
books and
all this kind of stuff. And one of those categories will be banned books. So like in this case, it was monster manuals. It was a banned book. And all that, what banned or books are banned is just randomized. And so in this case, you're going to get -1 point for every monster manual you have. So you want to have as few of those books as possible, but I want the AI to have as many as possible. But then there's other kinds, like each library has your own focus. Like my focus this time, I think was spells and potions. And so I wanted as many of those as possible because I'll get extra points. And so playing the solo version is really, really fun because it's just such an uphill battle because they will literally have 3-4 times as many books as you.
Yeah.
And so they're going to get so many bonuses because of all the different books they have. But then they're also going to get a lot of negatives because they're going to have a lot of those banned books. And I got destroyed. I lost by 45 points. It was horrible.
Wow.
But the game is really, really fun. And you can scale the difficulty. I was playing kind of mid-road difficulty, and I got destroyed. It's incredible.
You can see you can solo that for...
It's probably up there. Another card, yeah.
Why not?
Did
3
we do
cards.
that?
Huh? I thought you did.
I don't know if I did.
I'm sure you did.
If it's up there, we did. I don't remember, honestly.
You didn't? What are you doing? It's your favorite solo game for a while there.
But I haven't done my other favorite solo game.
Haven't
Networks? No. I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I'll double check.
Check a card here. If there's a card there, then Nick did. I think Nick's forgetting a lot of the videos he's made.
Yeah.
I swear you've done both.
It's possible. If not, there's a You Can Solo That playlist above you.
Bam.
Mike played a game.
I played 18 Chesapeake, my first foray into the true world of 18XX games. Jesus.
All it is it confirmed that I never, ever, ever want to play one of these games.
I will say this. I kept thinking about it after I played.
Yeah.
I woke up thinking about it. 18XX games in general are about money manipulation and stocks and things that I do not understand. I don't know what the Dow Jones and NASDAQ do, and that showed when I played this game. I don't understand these things.
Mr. Jones's personal wealth.
Oh, that's right. I forget. And you're building out tracks, networks for trains, and then running those your factories and your business. And then you can buy shares in other people's business. So if they're doing all these deliveries and stuff, you can make money off of what these people are doing. And like in theory, you could never run your own business because if you have the most shares in a business, you're the president of that business. You choose what happens with that business. You're in charge, and you can dump stocks and things. And all of it was just very much the meme of like the numbers coming up, and people are like thinking and looking at all these things. And it doesn't help that I was playing online, so it was harder for me to get anywhere in terms of understanding like what's going on.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a style for 18XX games, and the style is like, hey, let's make this look as horrible as possible. This is cool. I want this to look like a number sheet.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're gonna be doing in your brain. And I don't get that.
I don't get it.
I don't know if these are my types of games anyway. I would like to try another, like, there's an 18XX game that's like pretty chill. I'm like, okay.
Is this supposed to be like the beginner one?
On the easier side. There's an 1830 or something. It's like the easy mode one. But one thing I'll say is like, dudes, spice them up. Make them look nice. If there's mountains, be like, well, that dot's a mountain. I'm like, paint a mountain. Make it look like one. What the hell? They're so boring looking.
I agree.
God, it just looks like a math problem.
Yeah.
I did not love it. I am so thankful to the people that taught me it. I will try something like that again, maybe, but almost like...
And I'm grateful that you played it, so I never have to. Because I've been close to playing it a couple times, and I've been like, I'm not going to like it. I know I'm not. And then you played it, and you had this reaction. I was like, great, now I never need to play it.
I like Railways of the World. I quite enjoy that. And I'm happy to stop there. That's close enough in that direction.
I like City of the Big Shoulders, which is like a stock game and stuff like that, but like I have no interest
That's
in
plenty enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, the rest, I'm like, I just don't think I have a big enough brain for it. I don't think I'm smart enough for it. And it looks horrible, so I get
fine with being that
bored.
dumb. I'm fine with being that dumb.
I get incredibly bored.
I'm okay with it.
Because I'm just like, this looks awful.
So we played a game that was heavier than that, and that was KLASK.
Better than that, I'll say.
Yeah, better than that.
KLASK is basically air hockey for your board game collection.
It's great. It's incredible. We played it again the other day. We used to play it on stream a
freaking
lot.
fun.
And then for whatever reason, we just hadn't played it on stream in a while.
I don't know.
And someone was requesting it, and we were like, oh yeah, we should play KLASK. And man, I forgot how much fun it is. It's this great little kind of air hockey game where you have a little marble, and you have two sides with a little table. It's this very nice little table. And it's on each end, there's a little divot, little hole, and you're essentially trying to get the ball into the other person's hole. It's like air hockey style.
It's kind of goal. Get the goal.
And you have this little like antenna looking thing
little
that's a
pawn or
magnetized.
whatever.
You have a magnet underneath it, and so the magnet is on either side of the wood, and that's how you move around the
your little
thing.
handle.
And so your hands are underneath the table, and you're just trying to hit it, and you're basically just trying to get in the goal. But it's really intense and really, really fun.
It's the most stressful game of all time.
I forgot how fun it was. Yeah,
It's
KLASK
amazing.
is a good time. If you're looking for just a dumb little like tabletop dexterity game, it's great. KLASK is awesome.
KLASK is fantastic. We also played, speaking of the networks, not solo, but is a fantastic game. We taught it to some folks, and I realized I'm not very good at the networks.
Yeah, me neither.
I thought I was, but then people just scored so many more points than me all the time, and I was like, well, I thought I was
I'll
doing
tell you what,
a
I'm
lot.
not good at networks. I never do network cards. And I think using
Gotta
network
do
cards are
network
like
cards.
action cards that you can get that you can then use to
they're
do
very
action.
powerful.
I never do them, and I think that's one of my
It's
downfalls.
because the abilities of some of them are incredibly useful. Like you
Yes.
can do it where you don't age a show. So in this game, you're running a TV network and you're trying to get the right programming to get a bunch of viewers. But like a big piece of it is like, when do you cancel a show?
Yeah.
When does it stop? When does it stop helping you as much? And getting maybe a new show that has a really good first season
Yeah, yeah.
will be helpful or something like that. And those network cards will allow you to hang on to a show for longer, allow you to get extra viewers when you show a rerun of a show, different things. So there's a lot to explore there.
Yeah.
But the networks is just fantastic. It's fun. All the names of shows are parodies of real shows and things. And it's just a cool theme, you know? Like you can have a really cool show that has like a very popular actor in it and stuff, but the show might end up having a lot of upkeep costs.
Yeah.
Like sports shows have a lot of upkeeps. It's like, oh, it's hurting my ad revenue and things that I'm getting, attaching to shows. And so how do you balance your money so you can get more of the expensive stars and stuff? And so there's just a lot to explore, and it's just really fun.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It's just like there's a few types of actions you do on your turn. Just do one of those types of actions.
Yeah.
It shows you how much it costs or how much you get. It's like fairly easy to get into.
Totally.
Networks is fantastic.
Networks is great. And again, kind of like Conspiracy. It doesn't feel like Conspiracy, but Networks is a game where like it's action selection, but it doesn't feel like any other game I can think of. Like it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It feels totally different. It's great.
Yeah.
I played. You played this, I think.
We both played it.
What? You played in July?
Oh no, I played in August.
Mike played in August. We'll talk about this game next month as well. But I played Pagoda with Mike's fiance. Mike again took a little solo vacation.
Pagoda.
And Karen and I wanted to play a game, and so we were in here staring at the wall. And I was like, I don't think Karen's played Pagoda. So I asked her if she played. She said no. And I was like, I think you'll like this game. We played it, and she loved it. And she crushed
Really
it too,
good.
which is great.
Yeah.
As she usually
She beat me both times
Yeah,
as well.
she's very good. She's much smarter than us. And so we played Pagoda, but Pagoda is a game where you are building pagodas. It's a 2-player only game.
Yeah.
And essentially you are
Card
putting
game.
out columns. Yeah, you're playing these cards to then put out columns, and then you put out 4 columns. You put a little floor on it. You put 4 columns on top of that. You put a floor. So it's got a little 3D element to it. And the columns have different colors. So there's like red, purple, blue, yellow, green. I think that's it.
Yep. Purple.
I said purple.
That's all of them then.
But nonetheless, and so you can play out on the very bottom level, you can play out whatever columns you want. They all have to be the same color, but then you put on a purple floor. And then the purple floor will indicate what color columns have to go on top of that. So it might be like green.
It'll be one of the 5 colors.
Yeah, but the game kind of hinges around getting these special powers. Whenever you put down a floor, you get that floor's power. So if it's a purple floor, you get the purple power, which you can then use twice before it depletes.
Yeah.
And getting those powers and then
are-
using them in ways is great, because as the pagodas get taller, you get more points for putting up columns. So on the very ground floor, you get 1 point per column you put down. The second floor, you get 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and then the pagoda finishes. And just trying to manipulate it where you don't want to set up your opponent to get a ton of points. And it's a very weird manipulative game where you're trying to get these powers, and it's so fun.
Yeah, it's a really solid game. Without giving away my review for next month, it's really fun. It's one of the best 2-player games.
Yeah, it really is.
It's
one
just
of the best
like
two-player games out there.
you want to like do the work, but you don't want to do only so much that like, oh, now on your turn you're going to complete the floor, get the power. All the work I did is now wasted. So you're kind of like trying to make your opponent do the work so you get the most benefit.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting back and forth game. Great 2-player game.
Really great, really great.
I played a game of Fantastic Factories over at Tabletopia. It's quick, it's fun, it's a quick little kind of engine-ish builder thing. It goes down smooth. Like
It's not changing anything.
No,
it's not
changing the world, but
it's
like
a great little engine builder.
Yeah, and the fact that it's so quick, it's almost a little too quick.
Yeah,
it goes
I
a little
agree.
Gizmo-y for me, where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I thought I was getting going, now it's over. You know, so I almost like want it to be a little longer, but it's also very light, so it can't really be longer. It is kind of the perfect length. So that's going to stop me from like loving the game forever. But Fantastic Factories is a good little time. It's just fun. You kind of roll out your dice and you allocate those dice. You get some goods. And you're trying to just build a tableau cards and get some goods built, and then that's it. So it gets in there, gets out quick. It's all kind of simultaneous play. So you're just kind of doing your thing. It's fun.
Yeah. It's a good one. We played Photosynthesis. We played this during Gen Con. We played it with the expansion.
Under the Moonlight expansion coming out in September.
Expansion, yeah. Blue Orange hit us up to do a stream for them, so we did. And we got the new expansion for Photosynthesis, and it is very, very cool. I liked it a lot.
It's really interesting. So it introduces Moonlight. So there's
animals.
the moon that's kind of moving the opposite direction of the sun, one of those. and animals. And the animals will kind of get powered up by the moonlight. And you'll get lunar points like you get light points from the sun. And the lunar points will power up your animal. In each animal, there's 8 types are specific, have their own specific powers and things they do. So I played the beaver, so I was able to build a dam, and that kind of made stuff instantly grow quicker. Then I can work on my dam to kind of boost growing without having to use my light points, which I used to great effect a couple times. Nick played the owl, so he can get a bunch of lunar points and convert them into light points and just have a monster turn.
Which is like a pretty simple ability, but man, it was nice. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, so there's much more to explore because there's 6 other animals, and then you gotta have these other modular things. You have like the elder tree, which is just a big old obstacle that blocks moonlight, sunlight. It can never be moved.
It's placed in the beginning of the game. It's just there,
and then it's just there. And then there's these kind of moonstones, which will kind of reflect moonlight and glow and create more areas on the board that are within the moonlight. So maybe it's a little easier for your animals to catch some of those lunar rays because there's fewer paths of moonlight. So it's really cool, really interesting, and Photosynthesis is a great game. I think the Under the Moonlight expansion really beefs up the 2-player experience.
Yes, it does, for sure.
Because now there's like more stuff you can do.
Yeah, for sure.
And in Photosynthesis, it's really great at like 3-player because you want there to be contention over space and things like that. So it kind of adds a little bit of stuff on the board.
Yeah, it's one of these. Someone asked,
Really
like,
cool.
is this a game you'll always play with? And at this point, I think I probably would. Unless maybe if we're playing with someone brand new, but even then, it's not that complicated.
So why not?
I would just give them maybe like the owl ability, which is very simple.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really, really fun though. It's great. And Photosynthesis is a game that's been out for a while, and now it's finally getting an expansion.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm pumped. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so if you like Photosynthesis, it's coming out in September. Check it out. I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah. We played Pint Salad.
Pint Salad. We played a little filler Pint Salad just to kind of,
This game is good.
Plays quick. It's a set collection game straight up. It's very fast. You have these 6 types of vegetables. One side and the back side of every card is a scoring opportunity card. So on your turn, what you're doing is you're taking one of the scoring opportunities, which are the back sides of the cards in 3 stacks, or you can take 2 of the veggies from the available 6 that are out there.
That's it.
And you're either collecting veggies, you put them in front of you, or you're taking a score card, which then you'll hope to get certain veggies to score those points. It's just straight up set collection. It's incredibly fast, simple. And the cool thing is like, every veggie can work for every type of scoring thing that it pertains to. Every scoring thing can work with all the veggies. There's not like, oh, this one has to be for this. This has to be used over here. It's like, no, they're all good. And you're just trying to build sets of stuff.
It's quick, it's fast, super fun.
Super fun. Point Salad.
I really Point Salad a lot.
Rips. It's really, really great.
Yeah, it's River merch.
We played Role Player.
Yeah, we played
the Fiends and Familiars expansion.
I was thinking Role Play Adventure, but that was the last one. We played with the Fiends and Familiars expansion.
Fiends and Familiars expansion, which is the newest expansion for Role Player, which I think is hitting people's, or just rather got shipped out a month or so ago. This was cool. I was fine with it. Role Player in general, we were talking about this after we played. So Role Player is a game where you are basically rolling out a D&D character, and you're trying to get the right dice into your right different types of attributes. You have strength and constitution, things like that you'd see. And it's Sagrada-ish, where there's some sort of, you want to match colors if you can, that helps. And they've added these expansions which sort of like take you from the meta nature of like being creating a character into sort of like, you're in the world now, and in the Monsters and Minions expansion, you can fight monsters and minions. The Fiends and Familiars gives you familiars. It gives you an extra attribute row to fill out that comes with power. There's these fiends that get attached to you that mess with you in different ways. It's very cool, but I think we kind of realized with Role Player, I'm like, I don't need more stuff with Role Player. Well, I'm just like,
I don't know.
It gets away from the heart of what Role Player was.
Well, and so my thing with Role Player, and I love Role Player, I really, really do. I love it to death, and I really like the Fiends Familiar expansion. But I am actually not nearly as big a fan of the Monsters and Minions expansion as everyone talks about. It's like an essential expansion. Like you have to play. It might even been on our essential expansion list.
I know. I definitely subscribed to that.
Yeah, like you can't. There's no point in playing without it. Get it immediately. And actually, at this point, I don't think I want to play with it anymore. Because to me, my favorite part of Role Player is the dice allocation, trying to work on that puzzle. And the Monsters and Minions constantly distracts me from that puzzle. And I like that expansion, but it's like, almost every single time we get done with Role Player, I'm like, man, I didn't even focus on this. I was only ever focused on that.
Yeah.
And some of that's probably me. Like, I just need to make sure I'm focusing on stuff. But like, to the point now where I'm like, I think I'd want to play base game Role Player instead of with Monsters and Minions. I like Fiends and Familiar because it gives you another attribute row. It gives you a little bit of power. But to me, it still keeps it. The focus is here. The focus is your character board.
Yeah.
The focus isn't out here. And so to me, I think I'd want to play with the base game and Fiends and Familiars, but I honestly think I'm pretty, not done with Monsters and Minions, like we should burn it. But I'm like, to me, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't really think I need Monsters and Minions anymore. I mean, I think as time's gone by, I've liked it less and less and less.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to the roots of role player and just play the puzzle part of it. And I like role player a lot, but my liking of it has gone down over time. I still like it a lot, but it's just like, I think me going back to the original will help.
It starts feeling samey because there's all these cards you can get in this market. And when I definitely do this, if there's monsters and minions, you either go to the market or you fight a minion. And I'm like, fight a minion, always.
Always.
And so I don't even deal. And there's
You get
all
so much
sorts
good
of
stuff when you
cards
do,
with all sorts of cool effects.
Never
and
pay attention to them.
I cut out a huge portion of the game.
And that's why I want to
think
get
that's a
back
piece
to
of
that. I want to get back to the base game with the cards and trying to focus on that. That to me, there's too much stuff to focus on at this point. Like the game isn't big enough to warrant all that.
It's bloated.
Yeah, so like to me, I want to kind of scale it back. I still really liked it. I really like the Fiends and Familiars expansion.
Yeah.
I thought it was
cool
fun.
stuff that
but I
adds, for
think
sure.
that's gonna be my wheelhouse for this game. Either the base game or the base game and Fiends and Familiars. I honestly don't need to play with Monsters and Minions anymore. Personally,
Interesting.
That's my
We've done a
personal-
lot of that, haven't we?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and I think everyone else feels completely different about that. But yeah, that's my personal feeling about it.
That's totally fair. I played Everdell
Yeah,
on
you did.
Tabletopia, which is good. I haven't played Everdell in a while.
good.
It's just fantastic. It's just, tableau builder.
It's great.
Kind of stretch your resources as far as you can. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. It's just a pretty game. It's a cool game. Fairly simple in terms of like the action spaces. You know exactly what you can get. It's like there's 3 twigs, get 3 twigs. Simple. And you're building a little kind of bit of town for yourself, a bit of a place to call home under the Evertree.
I want to try the expansions, the newer ones.
Me too, I really do. Yeah, because Probrook, I can take or leave. I don't really care about it.
Probrook, I'm very like, yeah, okay.
But I'm excited for Spirecrest
Yeah, it doesn't
specifically.
really impact it at all. Spirecrest and Belfair I've heard are really good. But yeah, Probrook is,
it's fine.
all right.
What else we
We
do?
played Rush MD. We played this on
Another
Gen
Gen
Con
Con
stream.
stream. We were busy during Gen Con.
During Gen Con. We had a very busy Gen Con. But now let's play Rush MD because we were like, what's a great game to play on stream? We're like, oh, a game where we're screaming all the time. And that's what it was. And it reminded me, Rush MD is so
fun, dude.
Freaking fun. It's
It's like a good level of stress.
everything that's good about Kitchen Rush takes out all the stuff that's not as good about Kitchen Rush and makes it better. It's so fun. It's doable, which I think is huge.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel doable in the moment, but you can actually win the game, which Kitchen Rush we never
nice.
ever won.
Yeah.
And just you're trying to save people and do all these tests. You're running a hospital. You have these workers. You each have a doctor worker, and then there's 4 nurses, which are
the nurses are shared.
they're shared, but they're all 30-second timers. So when you go to do an action, you turn it over, and you cannot move that person until the 30-second timer go out. So you're trying to moving this, and you're waiting for that to go. So you're over here doing this. You're like, oh, but there's certain spots that only doctors can do. Like only doctors can perform surgery, but only nurses can administer medication during surgery.
Yeah.
And there's like this spot is only for doctors. This spot's only for nurses. This spot either one. So you're constantly trying to like. Oh, I need a doctor to do this. Oh, I need a nurse to do this. And it's a lot of There's a lot of those
That's a good
sounds.
way to describe it, yeah.
It's very. Can we get some in chat, please? I'm just curious how we're gonna.
There's so much blood!
Yeah. Oh God. And it's just like, and it just gets nuts because you get these patients. And you're like, oh, this patient looks like a little sick, but we need to do an X-ray. We need to do an MRI.
Yeah.
And they do an X-ray and MRI. You're like, oh God, they're bleeding out. They need surgery. That turns out their
lungs.
spleen ruptured. And it just
Yeah.
gets real crazy, real fast.
So
it's
fun.
so fun.
There's some dexterity elements to it. It's mini games. Rush MD is fantastic.
I like it so
instantly
much.
replaced Kitchen Rush for
Yeah,
us.
immediately. The
Have
first
it
time we
looked
played it,
at.
we're like, cool, never need to play Kitchen
Yeah,
Rush.
Rush MD is dumb fun. It's
Yeah.
great
Dumb
production. So good.
All right.
We also played a game of Seasons. Seasons is so good. We
Oh,
finally
so
played the
good.
expansion, one of the expansions for Seasons.
After 4 years of having it.
Yeah, and
I haven't played it.
Seasons is just a fantastic game where
My
you're
love for that
drafting out
game's
some
been
cards.
rekindled lately.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
It's so good. You're drafting out these cards to start, and those cards are going to be what you have throughout the game. And then from there, each round, you're rolling dice, and you're drafting those dice.
Maximum
Each player
chunk.
gets 1 die, the chunkiest dice of all time. And that's going to give you some element tokens and stuff that you can spend to buy cards. But you have to also create a summoning, increase your summoning gauge to summon more of these familiars and magical items and things. It's just freaking fun, and I don't even know necessarily why it's so great, other than it really is.
It's just good.
It's just resource management. It's tableau building. You can build a bit of an engine with those
A little bit of
cards.
drafting, but it's a little bit of everything. I do honestly what I think.
super
I think
solid.
it is. I think the dice rolling and the getting the resources, how that works,
What you
it's
do with
constantly
those
changing
resources, too,
seasons.
yeah.
And that's the thing
So
is like
cool.
trying to. That I think is the heart of it is like the changing of seasons, the getting the different resources. Different
Which ones are
resources
more abundant,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I think that's what it is. It's really really good. We played the expansion. The expansion was great. We shouldn't have waited 4 years to play this.
It's just tiny little modules, and like
Yeah.
we're just like, oh, this is not that big of a thing.
Nah,
We should
sure
just have
ain't.
done that a long time ago.
Yeah, you played a little Scythe.
I played a little Scythe on the digital.
I haven't want to play Scythe. Yeah, I like
Scythe is good,
I like
dude.
Scythe Digital too. Scythe
I
Digital-
played it. I
Scythe-
played
Scythe.
a game with a buddy. We played with 2 bots on medium.
That's what's so nice about the digital version.
And one of those bots slammed the rest of us. I mean, I was like in 4th place for sure, and Crook was in 2nd, but the bot is
out.
like beefy. That was on the medium level. Scythe is so good. We should play it digitally because with that app, it's real
What
nice.
I like the fact that like you and me could play, which a 2-player side isn't fun, but we could play with 2 bots.
Yeah, you can
And it's
make
like,
a
oh, that's
nice-
great. Then we have that's why I like I know like if I want to play solo Scythe, I'll just play digital because I'll just play a 4-player game of Scythe.
Like,
and it's great.
That's more what the game is
and it's
wants
quick.
to be.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Scythe is just super fun. The app is great. I continue to not be good at it.
Yeah, right.
But I enjoy it every time. So,
Yeah, maybe.
last time I played, I'll say this. I set out to do some things. I was like, I'm going to do this, and this. I did those things.
Hey.
It did not translate to a victory, but I did what I set out to.
Hey, that's all that matters, right?
I'll take that.
We played Sorcerer City. This is another game where one of our people who watched on Twitch, they got 50,000 channel points, turned them in to play Sorcerer City.
Yeah.
Also played it for the Huddy, James Hudson, Dreamboat.
you know.
Dreamboat of Alabama.
Beautiful.
Thirst Trap of Alabama.
Pride of-
I think it's his
Thirst Trap of
That's his
Alabama.
new name, right? The Thirst Trap of Alabama. But nonetheless, we played Sorcerer City, which is kind of real-time Carcassonne-y. You have 2 minutes.
Flipping over these
You're
tiles,
flipping over
you're putting
these
these tiles
and you're
next to each
placing
other.
these tiles next to each other, trying to get different resources of magic, influence, money, and then prestige, which is your points. And it's just crazy. And as the game goes on, you're getting more and more tiles. You're also getting these monsters that mess everything up. And again, each round is 5 rounds, 2 minutes, and you're just building your thing in real time. You flip over one tile, place that one tile, flip over the next tile, and you have to do it like
You
that.
want to get groups of the same color,
Together
mix these
generally,
shields
yeah.
for scoring and stuff. Yeah.
And it's super, super fun. And the first round, it's so fun because every single time, like the first round, you're like you have like a minute left, and you're like, I'm done, like
Easy.
whatever. By the end of the round, by the end of the game, though, you have like 20 extra tiles. So you're just like, trying to get them out quickly.
ramps
and
up
it's
nice.
It's really fun. I like Sorcerer City. It's a bit of a table hog. It's my only thing against it, but it's very, very fun.
It's super good. Jump cut.
Mikey, talk about RallyMan GT.
That's fine. It's another racing game that I don't like as much as Downforce. It's cool. The one thing I'll say about RallyMan GT, it's a racing game, and you are placing these dice out. You're putting dice and you're going basically up into different gears and things. So to move, you kind of have to allocate the right dice in the right order. And that's very cool. There's a cool puzzle in there because you want to start, at the very start, you're going to put a 1 out because you're going into first gear, then a 2 because you're going into second gear.
Yeah.
And then you can use a boost die to jump right up to 4th and keep your 3rd die back. Because right there, when you get up into 4th gear, you hit a turn. So
Yeah.
you need to brake. And then you have to use these red dice to break down to 3rd again or down to 2nd or whatever. But you have to kind of save the dice because if I use my 2, my 2's already out there. I can't use it again. So that was a fun puzzle. But the one thing I didn't enjoy was that there's like spin outs and then there's flags to make it racy. And I had no idea. I was playing on Board Game Arena and I was like, I have no idea what's going on or why any of this matters. And I was ahead of that, so it didn't affect me. I was like, cool. But the thing is, like, you get first gear, then you're up in 5th gear, so you're going really fast. And the one thing that's cool is, like, if I'm gonna pass you, you're ahead of me, I need to be in a higher gear than you are because I'm going faster. So that's satisfying. But like, if you're in 5th gear, you go 1 space forward still. So I don't feel like I'm going fast because I'm like, oh, I went 6 spaces forward
That's totally
again.
fair.
And then you have to roll those dice, and then you might get hazards and stuff, which cause you to spin out. And the faster you're going, the more you're braking, the more chance you have of spinning out and stuff. Except for, no, not really. Like, I never had any problem with rolling the dice. I was fine the whole time. Other people were not fine the whole time. And basically, me and another guy got out in front and just stayed that way for the whole game. And I couldn't do anything to catch up to him and pass him. He couldn't do anything to mess up because we both just kept making our rolls. And everyone, once we kind of got into the race, we stayed in our perfect order through the entire thing. So I was like, cool, nothing happened. It was fine. It was fun. The dice allocation was interesting, and I'd still rather just play Downforce. Yeah. It's quicker. It's easier.
If you have a
it's
race game, it's got to be
fun.
Downforce at this point. Yeah.
It doesn't overstay its welcome. RallyMan GT was fine. It didn't change my opinion about racing games generally.
Played Stop Thief, which is another restoration game, because we wanted to play games with chat. So this is a game where you we play it co-op, and basically there's a gaggle of thieves going around stealing stuff.
Always
and
stealing.
the game is run by an app, and the app is controlling where they move, and the app is constantly giving each turn you get an audio clue, and it could be like people walking inside, people opening a door, breaking a window, and essentially you are stringing together these audio clues to figure out where the thieves are.
Yeah.
And then you go there and you try to arrest them, and you lose money if you don't arrest, if you make a false
choose
arrest.
the wrong spot. Yeah.
And then you're basically, and they have $50,000 that they can steal every time they steal from one of the spots they can steal from. They steal $5,000, and you're basically trying to catch all 7 of them before they steal $50,000. Right. And we've been pretty good at this game. It comes close a lot of times, but you almost always win. And to me, I don't really care because it's just very, very fun.
Yeah.
And this one, man, we did not win. And it was the first one in a while we haven't won.
We lost the criminals for a good minute.
Yeah, we had a hard time tracking them down. But we played this game with chat because chat can also hear the audio clues. So they're trying to help us. And man, we just got demolished. But it was very, very fun. We love Stop Thief. It's great. It's great.
It's great to play as co-op as a team effort.
Yeah.
It's just a good time.
It's a good time.
It's really, really good.
You played an exit game.
I played my first ever exit game.
Yeah.
It was incredibly fun.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I really enjoyed it. So I played with our other 2 Murph siblings. So we had 3 of 4 Murphs. We were down 1 Murph's worth of power.
Yeah.
But we played the Abandoned Cabin, which is one of the higher rated ones. Kind of right in the middle, smack dab difficulty levels.
Okay.
2.5 out of 5 difficulty stars or whatever. And this game, without spoiling anything that happens, is so really fun, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to play another exit game after that because some of the reveals, we had a couple moments where we're like, oh, that is awesome, with like the way that it works, because we had to escape an abandoned cabin. Our car broke down and we were seeking shelter, and we woke up, everything was locked, and the whole thing is like, this guy left these notes, we have to escape the cabin. So you're solving these riddles, and there's cards you reveal that will offer up new puzzles for you. We had to unlock basically these 10 different things, these 10 different riddle areas. And they'll be based on sometimes stuff you can see, sometimes they'll be logic things, all sorts of stuff where you get this card and you're like, this doesn't mean anything, but later on you're like, that's what that's in reference to. Very fun, man. It felt, I get why the exit games have been so successful.
Yeah, totally.
It was incredibly fun. There was a couple of those moments where I was like, that is so clever. There was a couple, I was like, that is awesome. I'll tell you about it after this. But yeah, exit games were, I get it. I really want to play another one. It was very fun. It was fun. We just were cutting stuff up sometimes. We're like, oh, we're not going to reuse this. It was awesome.
Cool. That's rad.
Exit game. Oh, it's great.
We played Tekhenu, Obelisk of the Sun, the new board and dice game. Our first time playing it physically. We played it online a couple months ago.
Yeah, we did a demo of it, yeah.
Yeah, in this game.
How did you enjoy it? Because I taught it to Nick, and there's a lot of things to remember, and we had a few moments where, because I had only taught it to you recently, where things were getting forgotten, and it seemed like it made for a frustrating experience.
I had a
but
frustrating
was
experience.
it a good play?
The game itself is fine. I like the game.
Right on. Because I really like the game a lot.
I didn't know it as well as I thought I did, or as well as I wanted to. So there's a lot of times where I thought I was doing something, and turns out the thing I was doing actually gives me way less points than I thought. Right. Or I kept mixing up these 2 symbols, so I kept thinking that I was doing this, and it was doing something that wasn't actually helping me. So I ended up getting kind of frustrated while playing it, because I was just like, I could not understand the game. But we had learned it kind of in a rush, and I didn't have time to really kind of, and it's a big game, so I just didn't have time to really remember. I definitely like the game, and I know once I understand what's happening, I'm gonna like it a lot more.
Cool. Right on.
But I did like it, and we've played it before, and I liked it. But both times we played it, I've had a hard time understanding how to do stuff.
Sure.
And this last time, I just, for whatever reason, was just really struggling figuring out what the heck was going on, and it led to a frustrating time. But I know I'm gonna like it. I know I like it a lot.
Sweet. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it almost as much as Teotihuacan, which is another thing I played this month. I played it on Board Game Arena. You played it on Board Game Arena.
Yeah.
I played it because you said it was really good on Board Game Arena. It is very good on Board Game Arena because it takes care of a lot of
it's a lot of
bookkeeping and stuff. And it looks pretty good for Board Game Arena. Board Game Arena, the website is horrible. Looks god-awful. And this looked fine for being on Board Game Arena. It looks better on Tabletopia, but on Tabletopia, you have to keep your own track of everything. So here on Board Game Arena, it keeps track of your resources and things. And if you go to one of the resource collection spots, it sees what dice you have there and just automatically gives you the stuff. So it made a lot of things really easy, made it very fast.
It was very quick,
Teotihuacan is a top 5 game for me.
Yeah, you like it that much.
It's grown and grown and grown. I love that game.
It's probably top 20
so
for me.
Good. So you're going around, you're putting these dice, and you're kind of moving them around this rondel, around and around the board, and you go to these different action spaces, and you can basically collect resources on 3 of the spaces. You can gain some technologies which give you kind of beefier versions of the action spaces. You can work on the Great Pyramid. You can go on the Avenue of the Dead and build buildings, and you kind of power up your workers as you use them. And when they get up to a level 5, they would go to a 6. They instead ascend. They are now old, wise workers, and they ascend, which again moves you up the Avenue of the Dead. There's all these ways to move up these 3 temple tracks. That all kind of give you ways to score points. It's just big and mechanical and delicious, and I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's so good. I think it looks amazing. It's a great game.
It's so good. It's so good. Teotihuacan, it's great. We played Unmatched, Cobble Fog.
We did.
And Unmatched, we talked about it a bunch. We ended up playing a lot of Restoration games.
We kind of hit most of all of them.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Cobble Fog is the latest Unmatched set. I think it's the best one. Do you think it's the best one?
Yeah.
It's good.
It's just like they keep getting better, and that doesn't mean that the other people are not as good, but like they just find ways to integrate the theme more and more and more. And like the types of characters they have in this one are just great.
Yeah, they're
You have
very
Sherlock
fun.
Holmes, you have Dracula, the Invisible Man, Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, it's just freaking cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's just really, really good. We were talking to Justin from Restoration, and we were saying like, I want in the Restoration Games app, where like Stop Thief is and stuff like that, we're like, we want an Unmatched one where it's a randomizer.
Yeah.
It's because it's hard to choose now that we've played Cobble Fog a decent
so many
amount. I'm like,
options
okay,
of
now I want to start.
combinations.
I want Sherlock Holmes versus 3 raptors. I want 3 raptors versus Bigfoot. I want all this kind of crazy crap. But it's like one of the things where it's like, but it's hard to decide, and it's hard to unbiasedly decide.
Sure.
So it's like I want like a randomizer that
favorite.
randomizes it a board and players, characters and so. But Unmatched, it's great. We've played it. It's
fighting.
Just incredible. Yeah.
It's a big fight game. I played a game of Tales of Glory.
How'd you play Tales of Glory?
I played it with Karen.
Oh, okay.
We played it at one night.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's a great tile laying game
good.
where you're sort of simultaneously selecting one of 6 or 8 tiles depending on player count. And you're hoping to be the only one that selects number 2. And if 2 people select it, whoever is closer in player order to first will break that tie and stuff. So you're trying to get the right tiles, and you're building out this tableau of tiles in front of you. And there's different types that will offer different benefits and things. And you got to spend gold and potions and stuff to play these tiles out. And it's just sort of like, you play the tile, which gives you some benefits. You might get defensive ability or magical abilities and stuff, where you might get a bunch of gold and things to spend on future things, or you might just get straight up points. And it's just about building this tableau in an advantageous way. If I've built a lot of treasure rooms and a tile comes out that will give me end game points for treasure rooms, ooh, now I might want to get that. But you might have been doing the same, so now we're fighting for this thing, and it just goes crazy fast. There's 10 turns,
So it is.
and you're out. It's just good and quick, and
That's great.
Yeah, it's just a fun game, man. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's
Tales
good.
of Glory, great.
It's a good one. All right, last
recommend
game is I played Zombicide Black Plague.
Did you?
I've been wanting to play it for a while. I have it at my
Damn.
place because my roommate really, really likes co-op games. So we've been having, I was just like, you know what? I want to play Zombicide. So we're like, let's do it. Let's bring it out. And yeah, we played it, and we looked online because there's a bunch of like online scenarios. Essentially, we played
cool.
one that was really fun. We had a great time. It was it's Zombicide Black Plague is just
Still
fun.
holds up?
Yeah, it's just honestly, it's just fun. You're just rolling dice. You're just trying to knock out a bunch of zombies, do a bunch of a couple different scenarios. There's a lot of different scenarios you can do, and it's just fun. We have a lot of the expansion stuff. So like we're playing with just like bananas, just like we were playing with the Abominator, which is this Minotaur that can like rip through walls and stuff, and all this kind of crazy stuff. It was very, very fun. Really, really enjoyed it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I actually really like this game a lot. It's a good time. So yeah, Zombicide Black Plague, it's good. I like it a lot.
Boom, and that's it. That's all the games we played this month. We played
37.
37 different
Wow.
games. We got 50-odd plays total. Pretty good month of gaming, I'd say, considering we're still not going anywhere. So, hey, that was really fun. What are some games that you played in the month of July that you really enjoyed? Let us know in the comments below. That'd be super duper awesome.
Jump cut. Alrighty, so something we do in all of our rap reviews, we shout out the patrons that we got during this month of July. So we're reviewing all the games we played in July, and we're also going to give shout outs to everyone who is comfortable with the shout out that we got in July. So we want to say thank you so much to all of our patrons in general, but a special thank you to the people we got in July, which is Sophia. We got Get Wrecked with Kel Ricked.
Dang.
We got Salty Dog and Val. Thank you so much. We got Joel Lewis. We got the Barda family.
That's what's up.
We got Fernando. We got Chalbert Stott. We got Alyssa, and we got Bradley.
Boom. Thank you so much to all of our new patrons. We had a few people edit their pledges and stuff. Thank you as well for that.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you for all the continued support to all of our current and former patrons. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. It really helps us out in a big, bad way. It's going to help us do awesome big things once the world resumes normalcy, if that's a thing. So we appreciate you, all of our new patrons.
Thanks so much. If you want to check out our Patreon, follow the link in the description down below.
Please do. Check it out. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for another Rapid Reviews. That's all we played in the month. Once again, put your favorite games of the last month in the comments below.
Indeed.
And we're out of here, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for checking out our Rapid Reviews. We went through those games as quick as we could, which is quick-ish only.
Not quick at all.
That's all right. If you want to check out another Rapid Reviews, you can peep
check out last month's.
Last month's right there. You can check out something else that's super cool down there, or check out the 50 cards that we said during the video.
Yeah.
Some of them I probably put in.
Probably.
So check out those as well.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe while you're here.
Please, and click that little bell notification to get those little notes for us. And be like, hey, the Murph have a video.
Hi.
Come check out that video.
Bye.
Bye.